This is a demo video for Hydra app SDK and auction service catalyst project, a collaborative effort between MLabs and Ikigai, and today I'll be demonstrating the Hydra head participant discovery process. I believe the most natural approach to describing the workflow for participant discovery is to go through it step by step, starting from the moment when multiple individuals decide to contribute their computational resources to host layer 2 applications, or auctions in our particular case. To accomplish this, they need to form a delegate group through any off-chain means and publicly announce its creation, thus effectively making the group discoverable for users interested in hosting L2 applications. Delegates are expected to have a certain level of technical proficiency to initiate a functional Hydra head, as this process requires agreeing on configurations for delegate servers that can become quite complicated depending on the number of participants. It is important to understand that there must be a strict correspondence between delegate configurations. So, for instance, each delegate must specify public information about their peers, such as Hydra node addresses and public keys. Additionally, Corona keys provided to the delegate servers must be pre-funded with sufficient data to cover layer 1 transaction fees, and all delegate servers must remain online, which is a fundamental requirement of the Hydra protocol. Overall, there are many considerations which delegates need to keep in mind to host functional delegate servers. However, once initial preparations are complete and the servers are successfully deployed, the remaining process is relatively straightforward, allowing delegates to start earning fees for their hosting efforts. For demonstration purposes, let's spin up a cluster of 2 delegate servers using the provided Docker Compose configuration. And here you can see the JSON configuration for the first delegate server. Notice at the bottom there is a list of auction configurations that effectively sets a limit on the number of auctions a delegate server can host simultaneously. Now we want to submit a transaction that will create an entry for a new delegate group at the delegate group metadata validator address. This basically involves creating an unspent output with the following delegate group info datum. As shown here, we have a unique delegate group ID, which uniqueness is guaranteed by the underlying minting policy, an array of master key hashes that defines the signatures required to modify or delete the on-chain metadata entry for this delegate group, an important delegate info record that contains HTTP and WebSocket addresses of the corresponding deployed delegate servers, and finally a field for plain text metadata that can include arbitrary information about the group, such as links to social media resources. So let's submit our transaction and wait a moment for it to be confirmed by the network. Now that the transaction has been confirmed, we query the list of registered delegate group and select the first one to host the auction. Here you can see that the first entry contains the information we specified earlier. Next, as the first step of our announced auction contract, we make multiple HTTP requests to the delegates to reserve a slot for our upcoming auction. Once reservation is successful, we proceed with submitting an announced auction transaction. And upon its confirmation, we perform further requests to the delegates to actually host the announced auction. You can see in the logs that the auction has been successfully fetched by the delegates, and they now have all the necessary information to begin initializing Hydra head. So in summary, we've covered the essential steps from delegate group registration and discovery to auction announcement and layer 2 hosting.